Salutare, sunt Mihai Daniel, bun venit pe canalul meu. Astăzi îl am alături de mine pe Pavel Andrușcheviț. Este Chief Operation Officer, if I'm correct, la Vaiot. Vaiot este un proiect despre care v-am vorbit, un proiect care îmbină Artificial Intelligence cu partea juridică și astăzi vom vorbi despre foarte multe aspecte interesante ce țin de spectrul cripto și mai ales despre proiectul lor în sine. Doar că interviul va fi în limba engleză, dar știu că am o comunitate de oameni smart și nu va fi o problemă să înțelegeți. Pavel, welcome to my channel.
Hello, Daniel. Pleasure to be here.
So, as I did the intro, most of the people watching my channel, they speak English and they understand because they are in the space of crypto. So here you need to speak English. We will do a fast recapitulation about what it is Vaiot and what is the scope of the project.
Yes, of course. So Vaiot is a company that's connecting artificial intelligence and blockchain. What we do is we are building a portfolio of AI assistants that are based on blockchain and integrated with blockchain. We're doing this around 3 different business lines, which means that we as a company, we have a traditional business leg, which is strictly B2B, which has nothing to do with crypto, which allows us to generate revenue by offering our clients the implementation of various AI assistants and AI solutions in general. And we also have a couple of products and solutions that are both for Web 2 and Web 3. And this includes the AI legal assistant. This is the product that we're launching to the market this year, which is basically allowing users to negotiate a contract throughout our AI assistant interface that allows to create a contract, the traditional legal agreement to be generated by the AI that you can sign digitally or in person in writing with the another party that you're negotiating with, and you also get the blockchain smart contract equivalent of the contract that you've signed. So you have a second layer of security, second layer of this undeniable data storage that enables you to, in case of any dispute, have another confirmation of the terms of the agreement that you got with the other party. There are multiple other functionalities, but I guess we're gonna get into that later on. One important thing that I always have to say when talking about Vaiot is that we are the first EU-based, EU-regulated project, meaning that the company is founded in Malta. We are on the market since 3 years already. Well, the company was founded in 2018, but since 2020 we are regulated in Malta. We're gonna, I guess, talk a bit more about the regulations in Malta and in general during our interview. But definitely Vaiot was the first one in Malta, and since 3 years we are regulated. Which means that we are, as a company, we have to adhere to multiple different regulatory requirements, which makes Vaiot more down to earth in terms of being just a regular company, having regular business, being overlooked by regulators, and it kind of delivers some additional level of security and transparency to our holders.
I will ask you, how hard is to get regulated in Malta?
So I don't know how it is now. When we've been doing this, we started late 2019 and we got regulated end of September 2020. So it took us nearly a year to get regulated. Well, I wanted to say get a license, but it's not like that, to be regulated under the Virtual Financial Assets Act in Malta.
Do you think that was because they have bureaucratic things and it takes a lot of time, or it is a lot of documents and requests?
I think it's both. We've been the first company that got regulated in Malta, which means that they were kind of learning by doing when serving us and reviewing our case. On the other hand, the Virtual Financial Assets Framework in Malta, as the most strict in the EU, is very extensive, which means that there are a lot of requirements towards a company that wants to be regulated. And just to let you know about some of the things that the company has to do to get regulated in the EU-based country. Is, well, first of all, the white paper that you can see on our website has 140 pages. It's not that we are that creative, it's that we like writing so much. It's really because the white paper has to be created in line, in compliance with the guidelines from the Malta Financial Services Authority, which is the entity governing the whole regulatory framework. So first of all, they want you to write the white paper in a proper way, just so the holders, the people who invest in the ICO, they have all the information needed, that they are fully aware of the risks, that there are, all the disclaimers saying that, it's not a security, you're not entitled to any, stake in the company, etc., etc. It's a utility token, etc., etc. You need to hire a virtual financial assets agent, so VFA agent, which is basically a company that is licensed by Maltese government to overlook, to oversee the company that's being regulated, meaning that if we screwed up, they are responsible as well, and they have to be looking at our hands all the time, right? And they have to be checking if we are really fulfilling what we promised to the investors during the offering. And in our case, this is Grant Thornton, which is a gigantic company, which is really good because they are credible. They also know their work. They are legal professionals, PhDs, working in the compliance field for years. So very experienced people. So that's the VFA agent. In addition to that, they make you select and sign a licensed security auditors, or basically an auditing firm, which does two things. They have to obviously audit all your code, all your blockchain code, just so it's secure, and just to make sure that you're not trying to screw up your investors. But they also are doing the information security audit, which is basically based on ISO 27001 standard, so the information security management systems standard, which is widely known for organizations around the world, for banks, whoever. It's the most recognizable information security standards that the organizations can implement. And they are doing the information security audit based on that standard as well. You have financial audits, so annually, and all of those audits have to happen every year. And financial audit is another one of those that you have to do every year. So they're basically looking at your financial statements, at your books, and they make sure that everything is fine there as well. Then you have to prepare a business plan, a full-scale business plan that basically covers everything: competitor analysis, revenue projections, all the financials. They are looking at the basic assumptions behind your products and what you want to deliver. And this is also checked by the Financial Services Authority that's in charge. So of course, KYC, so full vetting of the team. So basically, every person in the company has to provide its full KYC, full documentation. So they are checking.
You are describing now, it's like mostly the opposite of the entire industry, where people, they pay somebody in Fiverr, they get a business plan there, they make a nice white paper, put in the website, sell the tokens,
and goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, what you're describing, it's the same that you want to become like a financial institution and you get this kind of process.
It's like you want to be listed on a regular stock exchange, right? This is more or less similar, and this is where they actually took the inspiration from. So the whole we talked earlier, but on this, but this is inspired by the actual regular stock company regulations that are in place, in the EU, which is very hard for startups to fill in, right? Because if we're talking about,
I have a particular question. Do you think this kind of regulation way is putting the business in risk because, for example, you can have budget to survive 6 months, you know, the devaluation, inflation, whatever. So by the time that you get regulated, you can lose all the money because you need to keep the people, the offices, the rent, whatever, the lawyers, the legal. And from my perspective, this is harming the business. I mean, if you don't have a structure to create legal framework, in fact, you are not helping. Because it was like you are, you know, the piggy for test, you know? Oh, let's use a company to see how regulation should be built.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree. I think that this is what's wrong right now with any ideas about crypto regulation, about regulating companies that want to issue digital assets, is that we're kind of overkilling it with those regulations. As you said, normal startup, which usually has budget for 3 months, 6 months, if they're not lucky, if they get lucky, what, 1 year, 2 years. If we're talking about a regulatory process that lasts a year and costs you 500,000 euros, for example, or at least 250K, this is something what 98% of startups, you know, cannot handle. And as you said, this will kill them, because if they get the ultimatum, you need to get regulated or you cannot make business in this space, then it usually means that they just can't, right? So definitely the ideas on regulations right now, I would say some of them are overkill. It's an overkill. This is a thing that has to be taken into account by the regulators when creating current regulations, that we need to make a good regulation that protects holders, protects investors. That's one thing. But there is another side of the equation, which are the companies, the startups, the entrepreneurs, which also cannot be killed by those regulations. They have to. We need to strengthen their ability to make appealing products and create innovation.
When you start a company, you have people, you pay salaries, you pay taxes, but you are not legally free to do business. So it's a nonsense for business. And if we look to the space of crypto, what is your opinion in terms of regulation?
I think that what we need right now in crypto is a golden standard. This is something that we've been talking as well about as part of our recent initiative, which we launched with KuCoin Labs. If you guys take a look at some PR that was out recently, Vaiot actually created, co-founded with KuCoin Labs, a digital assets regulation institute, which is basically a expert industry-led initiative to support regulation that have industry interest in mind. All the stakeholders, both companies and investors, and what we need is a golden standard. So we need to teach companies and also give them the resources on how to deal with certain aspects of the regulations and of the business operations, of the business as usual, right? It's not something special to just say you need to adhere to this and this requirement. We need to give the companies and the entrepreneurs golden standards in terms of information security, in terms of financial management, in terms of liquidity provision, in terms of many other topics, right? The companies and the entrepreneurs entering crypto space, they should first of all start building their companies from ground up based on a golden industry standards, which we don't have right now, right? There is no framework allowing entrepreneurs. If I wanted to create company tomorrow, I simply would do it as I think it should work, not as it is confirmed to be working as a golden standard. And if we have those golden standards in the industry, we would basically have entrepreneurs doing things the right way, at least those who want to do them the right way, of course. And if they play by the book, if they play by the golden standard, for example, if they implement information security management systems for their company from the ground up, based on some industry standards, they would be getting regulated immediately because they would be adhering to some best practices from day one, right?
What are the latest news from Vaiot? Any updates?
So we're actually focusing this year. We're focusing on couple of things, but the main focus is the production launch of the AI legal assistant. So our main target product. On the side, we are doing those regulatory initiatives that I just mentioned, that I'm leading personally as well, which is an important part for us, not strictly related to our business, but it's important for other companies to get regulated in the right way, to be offered the same chances, let's say, opportunities that we have. But Vaiot wise, we just recently, a couple of days ago, we launched our mainnet solutions on Polygon. So we moved to Polygon. We did launch our single asset staking on Polygon just today. We are also available on SushiSwap right now. We have some, we already had exchange listings, big exchange listings this year. We have another one in the next week. We're gonna have a couple.
Which one?
I cannot tell you. It's not announced yet. we did have BitGet. Next week we have another one from top 20 CMC, centralized exchanges. Yesterday we had SushiSwap, which is DEX. And by the end of the year, we obviously want to be on Binance. That's the goal. But product wise, and this is something that is most important for us, we're focusing on the development of the AA legal assistant. As I'm always saying, that this development is extremely important to be executed in iterations. So basically the strategy is that every quarter, starting from Q2, so the current quarter actually, we want to issue another version, another use case of the AA legal assistant. In the first iteration, first version, we will have AA legal assistant creating service provision agreements to the users, both traditional legal papers and blockchain contracts. Q3 we want to deal with another use case. Q4 we want to deliver another use case, right? There are a couple of options. We're looking into the possibility to deal with employment contracts, which would be very narrow and specific for a given jurisdiction. We're looking for some other use cases as well. But what we want to offer to our clients, our holders, is a constant flow of software, constant flow of new pieces of code that they can test, use, and basically, just to present how the work is being done as part of the company.
Any big clients in the pipeline?
Well, outside of the thing that I mentioned, so working on top exchanges and Binance by the end of the year, or by the end of Q1 2022.
No, my question is in terms of clients that will use the solutions.
So AA Legal Assistant V1 is gonna be more consumer oriented, right? So it's basically we're not going for any corporate clients with this one. This is a product that we want to offer to regular customers, people that watch your show as well. So something that anyone can use on a daily basis if you want to offer your services to someone, if you want to have a contract for services that someone is doing for you. Even if you get someone to paint your walls in your apartment, or even if you get someone to create the beautiful light sign that you have behind you, this is something that you can actually get governed by a contract created by our AA legal assistant, right? So that's it. And of course, for our other business lines, the ones that are strictly related to B2B solutions for corporations, we're working on some deals as well. Nothing specific for now. We're kind of trying to move from the use cases that we had last year. So for example, the KYC assistant for one of the exchanges, that was the POC project. We are also looking into public administration services. I don't know how it is in Romania, but in Poland, I can tell you that some of the public administration services are simply not working, and they are extremely hard to deal with if you want to register anything, your car, your business license, whatever. It's extremely hard to do it. It requires research, or it requires legal help, legal support from a law firm, law office, or your accountant. And we want to have a legal assistant dealing with public administration processes as well, helping with public administration processes as well, at least, right? So be sort of your assistant that you can ask for support, ask for guidance whenever you want to do something.
One question: did you have any talks with the officials, for example, for public administrations in Poland? I want to know the feedback. Is it working? They are open. They understand.
And not in Poland. Not in Poland. We did have a conversation with a public administration institution in the United Kingdom last year. That was for governing public transportation, and I can tell you that some of the use cases are just very natural, I would say. So let's say that you have a service, even as a company, you have a service that's being ran by an office of 500 people right now, and the process is not effective. It's taking lots of time to get for the citizen, for the customer, to get the service done. You're waiting weeks, months to get your license, to get anything closed in the public administration office. With the AI assistant, this guy does not sleep, so it works 24/7. This guy has all the knowledge of all your consultants, of all your employees. This guy can easily handle cases. You are aware of in the service the service management, they have first line, second line, third line of support, etc., right? So this guy can take care of first or even second line of support easily, reducing the amount of cases that are going into your skilled workforce, that they just do the third line support instead, which basically shortens the cycle of any service provision, and it allows customers to get served quicker and better, right? There was a risk at some point a few years ago that people didn't want it to have their cases handled by AI. Right, there was this big thing, and I think that you and me, we are still from the generation that might be a little bit reluctant to some of that stuff, but actually recent research results show that the current generations, the ones that are entering the market, the work market, that are becoming the new workforce, they prefer not to get involved with humans. They prefer to get their things handled online by the AI agent. And I mean, it's only helping the adoption of such technologies as AI assistance.
That is clear for me. I mean, there is a huge appliance for this kind of solutions, and I saw in the website that you are working to implement GPT-4 also.
Yes, so that's the best part. We have been creating solutions in integration with GPT-3 last year, and it was already pretty impressive. It was rude sometimes. That's the biggest issue, that with that sort of algorithms you cannot control it fully. So it's at some point you have to restrict it very much, not to be too rude, too open, too straightforward. With GPT-4 we are testing since 2 weeks right now, after it was released. And it's another level. It's another level. Our R&D director said that this will change the history of internet. Basically, this will change the internet. This will break the internet.
Yeah.
And we already know after those 2 weeks of testing that if we integrate GPT-4 into the AI legal assistant, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. We're just going to have to add some specific algorithms to do the pieces of work that we require it to do. But other than that, it's all handled. So GPT-4 integration is one of our goals for this year as well. As soon as we can, get our hands on the API and start the integration, we're going to look into that. That's one of the goals, to have it integrated ASAP. Really,
I think it will help a lot. It will.
I mean, we did feed him with a task to review a NDA, and the guy was just, he took the contract and he said, okay, so here are the clauses that I think that are risky. Here are the clauses that I think that are not good for you. And we said, okay, so can you propose something better? And he, yes, I can. And he proposed what needs to be changed for it to work, while also saying that, remember that I'm not a human legal professional. So I can advise you a little bit, but you still, if you want to be sure, you still need to consult with a human lawyer, right? And that's the beautiful thing that they did at OpenAI as well, right? They understand that legal advice cannot be given like that by an AI, not in the current regulatory frameworks around the world. And we really stand by it as well, meaning that we always said that AI legal assistant can help to streamline some processes. For example, in companies, if you have a small company, you don't have your legal department, it can help you to do some stuff. You would not have to go to the legal office or something like that. If you have a legal department, you have lawyers that you're paying a little shit ton of money to get things done. If you implement AI legal assistant, it will just help you by allowing those people, those educated individuals, to move to more to just harder tasks, to more advanced legal tasks, to more advanced legal work, so they don't have to waste time on some mediocre daily tasks that can be handled by the AI, right? So this is still something that we're saying. For now, nothing will be better than human expertise in different areas, in different fields. But some tasks, some work can be automated, hence allowing those educated people to do things that require a certain level of human expertise.
Okay, I will have one last question. In your perspective, what will be now more useful for the Vaiot project? People that will start using the solution, companies that will start using the solution. How do you see the growth of the company?
We definitely need users. That's what every AI company needs, is as many data that can be obtained from users, as many interactions with the algorithms that can be obtained, just because, as you know, every interaction is another learning field for the algorithm. The more users, the more data. So again, it all works in our favor. This is something that we're gonna want to do this year. We want to encourage users in every possible way to start using our software, even if those will be early versions, limited in functionality, but we still want the users to be incentivized. That's why we want to start with our VAI payback program, which will basically allow you to obtain VAI tokens as a payback whenever you make a purchase. So whenever you purchase an agreement creation within the AI legal assistant, you're gonna get some piece of the amount that you pay as a fee. You're gonna get in VAIs. You're gonna get it back. We don't want to charge a lot for the contract creation. It will be symbolic, $5-10 for a contract creation. You can go to the law office, it's gonna be 500. So long story short, this is what we want to do this year and next year as well, right? We want to develop the user base And we want to slowly, gradually add functionalities that will be more advanced. And as our user base advances and our functionality scope advances, we're gonna also be advancing with our revenue model, right? So obviously we'll not be doing everything for free forever. But for now, we just want to get people to use our solutions.
So in the closing, I will tell you, as a perspective of potential user, for me to use Vaiot, it means that I can get faster things, like in terms of contracts and legal things, and cheaper, much cheaper. And also I can use this kind of contracts in ways that before you didn't use. Like you said, you know, the guy who painted the wall, maybe you want to have a contract, maybe you want to be secure that if you make a mistake, he's responsible, or if he's not getting the money, he will get the money from you because he has a contract. So the perspective is huge for me, because, you know, you can offer a lot of benefits and services to people that until now they didn't consider, because the cost of legal services is very high.
I agree. That's one of the reasons we are doing this. As you said, there are a couple of issues with traditional legal services. First of all, you need to go to the law office. You need to go anywhere, right? So you need to make a call. You need to explain. You need to get served. It's not only expensive; it's time consuming. It requires for you to make an action, additional action, which you might not want to do. As you said, if you're gonna ask a guy to paint your wall, when you think about having to go to the law office to create the agreement, or create the agreement yourself based on some template from the web that you are not sure if it's good or not, you most probably will say, okay, screw it. Maybe it will work. Maybe it will be good. Maybe he will not screw me over, or something like that. If you get this in your mobile phone as a mobile application, where you just simply get 5 minutes to just talk to the AI assistant, draft the contract, make the guy sign it digitally with you, or even print it out on your printer and make him sign it on the spot, then, you know, both sides are protected, as you said. If we add escrow functions to it, meaning that we actually lock tokens, digital assets, whether it's Vaiot tokens or Ethereum or any other asset that will be available as a payment method on our platform, you actually can have those funds locked in an escrow, just so both parties are safe, right? The guy knows that the funds are there, he just needs to do the work. So yeah, I mean, the opportunities are there. As you said, it might just work in those gray cases or those gray areas whenever we are reluctant to spend money on contracting, or it can save us some trouble if we're tending to use documents from Google, or that we just want to download a
much
template.
Better, much easier, and much safer. I mean, you will be sure what you are doing. Pavel, thank you very much for your time. Our Zoom chat is closing, so I suggest that we will have a follow-up this year to talk about what's new, and maybe, you know, when the things are on the platform, maybe we do a tutorial or something to show to people how to use legal services. Until that, I wish you best of luck. And
thank you for having me, Daniel. Take care, guys. Cheers.